All right, so we're diving into something pretty interesting today. Some shifts happening with foreign investments in Thai real estate.
Yeah, and specifically, we're looking at condos,
Yeah, condos
especially
especially
market over there.
huge. Yeah, and anyone listening who's interested in these global trends, and where those investments are heading,
Yeah, where the money's going.
this is for you.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think what's really interesting here is that um, the insights we're going to look at come from Ocean Worldwide.
Okay.
And they are a luxury real estate agency that's based in Phuket.
Phuket.
Phuket. Phuket.
Yeah, a lot of people get that one wrong.
Yeah, Phuket. No, Phuket.
Dude.
And they've been there since 2004.
Oh, wow, so they've seen some things.
Yeah, they've been around the block a time or two. And, they focus on high-end homes, specifically in Phuket and Koh Samui.
Okay.
And the director, Sandra O'Neill, she's got years of experience in this market. So I think it's really valuable to get their perspective because they're seeing these changes firsthand.
They're in the trenches, yeah.
Exactly.
So that's kind of our goal today, is to really dig into, what this blog post, this data tells us about the bigger picture of international property investment and what's causing these shifts.
Totally. Yeah.
So let's start with something pretty interesting. The blog post really highlighted this big surge in foreign investment in Thai condos back in 2023.
Yeah, it was really striking. In terms of the actual numbers, we saw an 11.6% increase in the number of condo units that were transferred over to foreign buyers.
Wow.
Yeah, so that totaled 3,756 units. And the value of all those transactions rose by 8.9% to 18.571 billion baht.
Billion with a B.
Billion with a B baht. That's the local Thai currency.
Right.
So that really indicates, strong initial interest from overseas.
For sure. For sure. And the article mentions this is driven by, wealthy individuals from Asia and Europe.
Yes.
Looking for these second homes or investment properties.
Yeah, vacation homes.
And particularly they're interested in those larger units.
Right. They want the high-end stuff.
Yeah, exactly. So there's this demand for these more premium properties in places like Phuket.
Yeah, makes sense.
But then when we look at the second quarter of 2024,
yeah, things start to...
What blog post kind of points to a different scenario.
Yeah, they reported a 6% drop in sales to foreign buyers.
Okay.
Which, is notable. But what's really interesting is that the total sales value decreased by a much larger 18%.
Oh, wow.
Down to 14.8 billion buyers.
So fewer sales, but also the sales themselves are...
They're spending less.
Worth less interesting.
So that cooling trend, I think, is a key takeaway here.
Yeah, for sure. And, the blog post is pretty clear about what they think the main reasons are for this slowdown. And that's reduced investment from Chinese and Russian buyers.
Makes sense.
And if we kind of connect this back to the global picture, we can see some clear links there. The article outlines some of the factors, things like stricter rules from the Chinese government about how much money can leave the country.
Right. Capital control.
Yeah. And that's definitely impacting, how those investors are able to put their money into these properties.
Right. It's harder to get the money out.
Exactly. And then on top of that, we've got the economic slowdown in China.
Yeah.
Which is impacting how much disposable income people actually have to spend.
Right. They just have less money to throw around.
Exactly. And then we can't forget about, the geopolitical situation as well.
Oh, yeah, that's huge.
The war in Ukraine and the resulting sanctions, have made it much harder for Russian investors to move their money around and invest in properties overseas.
Right. Yeah, so they can't really buy those overseas properties like they used to.
Including in Thailand.
Exactly.
So, the blog post indicates that the Thai government is actually considering ways to counter this slowdown.
That's interesting.
And, it's interesting to think about these proactive measures that they might take. One of them is they're looking at easing those property ownership rules for foreigners to try and attract new investment.
To loosen things up a bit.
Exactly. And then they're also considering actively promoting Thailand as an attractive place to invest.
Right. Got to get the word out.
Yeah, get the word out. Marketing campaigns, things like that.
Exactly.
And it's not just the government. The blog post from Ocean Worldwide, with their strong presence in Phuket, mentions that developers are adapting as well.
They got to stay competitive.
Yeah, so they're offering things like discounts and more flexible financing to try and attract buyers from other emerging markets.
Okay.
Like India and Southeast Asia.
Smart move.
Yeah, so it shows that the market is trying to adjust to this new landscape.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think when you take a step back and look at it, you see this really clear picture. An initial surge in that foreign investment in Thai condos,
Hmm.
especially in these prime locations like Phuket. Phuket, followed by this notable decline.
Right.
And the reasons are really tied back to those broader global economic and political shifts
Yeah.
that are impacting those major investor groups.
Absolutely. And I think it's so valuable to get this insight from Ocean Worldwide,
Yes.
a luxury real estate agency.
Yeah, they know their stuff.
That's so deeply rooted in Phuket and Koh Samui.
Yeah, and Sandra O'Neill, their director,
Hmm.
she's been helping families and investors, for years and years.
Yeah, thousands of
So
them.
they really have that ground level perspective.
They're seeing it firsthand.
Yeah, and I think the way that the Thai government and these local developers are reacting
Mm.
really shows they're aware of the challenges and that they're willing to adapt.
Yeah, they're not just sitting back.
No, they're trying to make changes.
Yeah, it's a really fascinating look, I think, at how these international real estate markets can shift so rapidly.
It really is. And it leaves you thinking, you know, how will these potential government changes and these market adjustments ultimately change who owns property in Thailand in the years to come?
That's the million-dollar question right there.
It is. It's definitely something to watch closely.
Absolutely. Well, thanks for exploring this with us.
Yeah, this was fun.
Super interesting stuff.
Always a pleasure.
Yeah. All right, we'll catch you next time.
See ya.